Hello everybody, welcome back. This is your friend Trickman01. It's good to see everybody. Basically what I want to do is commands are becoming more and more important as these new snapshots come out. So what I want to do is I want to go over the basic command tutorial right now. We are covering most of the commands in Minecraft. We are going to leave a few out that are a little more advanced, like the scoreboard command. But other than that, we're going to cover most of them very basically, and then hopefully we'll get more in depth in some of them in future episodes. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first command I have for you right now is going to be the achievement command. And basically what the achievement command does is it gives you an achievement without having to work for it. So let's go ahead and look at that real quick. This is the syntax. Well, let's go ahead and get started with this. First of all, to do a command in Minecraft, you can type it in the chat bar. You can do backslash, let's say seed. And that's how you execute your commands in Minecraft. Is you would start whatever we're going to show you with a backslash. So the command blocks don't require the backslash to be started first because the game already knows that you're going to execute a command. So let's start with the very first command block. So achievement, give achievement.breedCow at p. So what that's going to do is that's going to give me the achievement for breeding a cow, as you saw right there in the corner. And now if we go and look at our achievements, we were able to unlock that achievement. So that's how it works. So then if we want to look at the syntax for the command, you can type in \help and then the name of the command, which in this case would be achievement. And it basically shows you how to do it. And for a list of achievements, if you type in achievement, give a hit tab, and it'll pull up all your different achievements. So as you can see, all the achievements are listed in front of you. You can get into more of these later, but ones you're looking for are going to start with achievement dot. So that's basically how that works. The clear command, that's the syntax for that. Clear at p basically takes all the items out of the closest player's inventory. The at p refers to the nearest player. The at r would be a random player, and the at a would be an all players. And you can actually use specifiers to get more specific if there are many players on the server and you only want to target specific ones. But we'll get more into that later. And the other thing the clear command can do is you can actually use it to remove only certain items from the inventory. So we see that the sponge is 19, so if we were to type in at clear the closest player of 19, it would actually only remove the sponge. So that's basically how the clear command works. It's pretty straightforward. And then actually you can go one step further with the clear command, which is something like this. Let's go ahead and update our game mode real quick. Blink. And then let's go back to game mode, creative. And then you can get even more specific with the clear command by doing something like 278. By doing clear the closest player of 278. And we saw we broke 2 blocks, so if I were to hit 2, should have worked. Oh, I hit a 0 instead of an 8. So if I were to do clear 278 2, you can see it only took away that. So the damage value does count towards the clear command. You could use that in map making if you're trying to set up a shop or something like that. The default game mode, there should actually be an E right here, but it was too wide to fit on the sign. It's just whenever you update it, any new player that joins the server, whatever server you're on or whatever world you're in, is going to default into whatever game mode you choose. So you do default game mode, you do 0 for survival, 1 for creative, or 2 for adventure. And that's how you would use that one. Difficulty, it's kind of the same thing. You can see difficulty 3. Remember, these backslashes are optional in command blocks. So if I were to hit that, it changes the difficulty to hard. And you can actually spell that out if you want to. Notice the tab command is auto-completing. Tab is going to be your best friend when executing commands. You can type it in like that, or you can do 0 would be peaceful, 1 would be easy, whoops, 2 would be normal, or 3 would be hard. The effect command is actually a pretty good one, especially if you're doing map making. So what I have here is going to affect the closest player with the effect ID of 1, 5 seconds, and a multiplier of 3. So what that means is I'm going to get the speed boost for 5 seconds. And it's over. So basically the way that works is you do your effect command. You choose the effect you want, which let's go ahead and choose regeneration. You have, if you need to know the different effects, the Minecraft wiki is a good place to look. If you just type in effects in the search bar in the Minecraft wiki, it'll pull them all up and it'll have the number there. So 10 is regeneration. If you do it for 1 second, and then multiplier 10. Oops, and don't forget to put your player name in. So let's do something like this, just to show you. Let's see, game mode 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and do my effect. Affect the closest player with regeneration for 1 second on multiplier 10. See how fast my health healed up there. Alright, so that's basically how effect works. Like I said, if you need any help with any of the syntax or any of these, you just type in help and then the name of the command. The enchant command will enchant whatever item you are holding in your hands. So for example, right now I'm holding this sword. If I were to hold this cactus, obviously nothing would happen because you can't normally enchant a cactus, but you actually can with the commands now, which we'll get more into in a later video. But right now we're just looking at the normal enchant command. So the way I have it up here is I have enchant the closest player with sharpness, which is 16, level 5. And again, if you want to know the number of the enchantments, the Minecraft wiki is a great place to go. It's got them all listed out, and next to each of the numbers and the names, it actually has a list of tools that it can be used on. So basically, when I use this, it's going to give me a sharpness 5 on my sword. You can see nothing happens when I do that, but when I do that, it gives me sharpness level 5. So that's basically how that one works. And of course you can do multiple enchants on the same item. They just have to be valid for whatever type of item you're choosing. For example, with this command, you won't be able to put sharpness on a bow or sharpness on a piece of wool or a torch or something like that. Game mode you already kind of saw. I've been going back and forth. Basically your game mode is either going to be survival, creative, or adventure. Survival can also be a 0, creative can be a 1, or adventure can be a 2. So let's go into adventure. You can see my game mode's been updated. If I hit this block, the command block updates into survival because I have game mode 0 for the closest player. And that's basically how that works. So let's go back into creative. Game rule. Well, let's skip over to kill real quick. So kill is a command that cannot be executed from a command block for good reason. It'd be pretty hectic if it did. But just for the example for the game rule, I'm going to need to use the kill command first. So let's go ahead and type in \kill. And where are we? Oh, cool. So you see I dropped all of my items when I was killed. But if I were to use this game rule, keep inventory true, if I was to execute that and use the kill command, you see when I respawn, I actually kept all my items. So that's pretty cool how that works. So that's just one game rule. To look at all the game rules, basically we type in game rule, and then you could just tab through all the different ones. Command block output basically controls whether a command block outputs into the text bar. Do daylight cycle, well basically if it's true, the day-night cycle will go on its normal 20-minute cycle. If it's false, it'll just freeze it wherever it is. Do fire tick, controls whether or not fire spreads. Do mob loot, that basically controls when you kill a mob whether or not they drop items. Do mob spawning, basically because that's what it sounds like. If it's true, the mobs will spawn under normal circumstances. If it's false, they won't spawn under any circumstances unless you spawn them into the world. Do tile drops. Basically, that's if you mine a block, whether or not it'll drop the block as an item. Keep inventory, which we just saw. Mob griefing, which basically means endermen and creepers. When a creeper explodes, it won't. Let me just show you. Creeper. See, now that we put the game rule to mob griefing for false, we can actually in game mode do this. And you can see his explosion didn't cause any holes or any damage or anything like that. So where were we? Let's see, we were at mob griefing. Mob spawning, mob griefing. I think we got them all. So that's that. The give command. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It basically gives you an item. And the way the syntax goes for that, actually hit an extra button, is whoops. You basically give the specified player an item, and then you have the amount of the item, the data, and the data tag. So we're going to look at all those except for the data tag right now. So we're going to give me a 276 is I believe a diamond pickaxe. We're going to give me one of those, and we're going to give it a data value of 60 or damage value of 60. Oh, I'm sorry, it was a diamond sword. Now when we look at that, we can see it's got a durability of 1501 out of 1561, so it's been used 60 times. So that's what that's what the data value is in this one. We'll get more into data tags in a later video. Game mode 1. We already did the kill command. The me command is also one that can't be executed from a command log. Basically, it just makes it look like whatever you type in is an action. So is awesome. Whoops. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. See, so now it just looks like I didn't say it, it's just a fact. Trickman is awesome. The play sound command. Looks something like this. Play sound, the sound you want, the player you want to play it to, where you want to play it from. In other words, where do you want it centered? The volume, the pitch, and the minimum volume. So we're going to look at all those right now. So right now I have it set up to play sound, random.levelup, all players. You want to center from the command block, which is what the squigglies stand for. Those are called relative coordinates. And if you just put 3 squigglies, it basically says from the command block. Then we have volume is 1, pitch is 1 and minimum volume is 1. Yeah. So if I hit this, it just sounds like a normal level up. But if I were to change it to something like this, it would sound different. And that's because I was changing the pitch. So if I change the minimum volume, and let's go ahead and put this 15 blocks in the sky. So you can't hear it. But if I were to switch it to just 10 short blocks in the sky, whoops. Let's try that again. 15 blocks above us. See, it's pretty quiet. And then if I were to do 20 blocks above us, you can't hear it all from that point. But again, if I were to put it right on the command block, it'd be pretty loud. And then the minimum volume is just basically, oops, hit the wrong button. It's just basically the same thing. So the minimum volume basically means if I was in, I don't know, X 1000, Y 1000, you know, 1,000 blocks away or 2,000 blocks away, and I had the, and someone used the play sound command, I would be able to hear it. And then to look at this, you just get into the assets folder of your Minecraft directory thing, and look into the sounds file, and you can see all the different sounds file. And then the first one for those is going to be the name of the folder it's in, and the second one is going to be the name of the sound without the number. Can't really, to my knowledge, you can't really put the number in. If a bunch of them had the same name but with a different number, it just basically chooses a random one. The say command is really more for command blocks. Because there's no difference between that and just typing in, well, there's a little bit of a difference, but it basically does the same thing, but you can use it to make command blocks. Say things like, this command block is going to say that the closest player is awesome. So when we click the thing, the command block, the command block says Trickman01 is awesome. Seed, basically all that does is it shows you the seed of your world. Moving on. Spawn point, so basically controls where your spawn point is. If you just do spawn point, or if you just do spawn point for the player, it'll just set their spawn point where they are. But if you do spawn point for the player and then XYZ, it will actually set the spawn point to the coordinates that you choose. So if I were to do spawn point, me 0, 56 0, and then if I were to die for whatever reason, I would respawn at, in lava apparently, but at basically 0 0. So we go back over here, place and spawn point. The spread players command is used for a mostly PvP games. Basically what that does is it spreads all the players a certain distance from each other. So the way that works is you use the spread players command. You want to center it from, where do you want to center it from? X and Z. It doesn't take Y into account. How far do you want them spread from each other? And what's the max range we want to spread them? So if you were to put 50 here, each player would have to be 50 blocks away from the closest player. And if you were to do max range of 1,000, they'd be no more than 1,000 blocks from the center of whatever you choose for X and Z. Respect teams, true, false. Basically, if you do respect teams true, all the teams will get sent to the same place. So like the blue team would all get sent to one place, the red team would get sent wherever, or however you want to choose your to do your teams, to name your teams. You would do that, and we'll get more into that. That's part of the scoreboard system. We'll get more into that later. And then which players do you want to choose? And you can use more specifiers with that, which again we'll get into in a later video. Don't want this one to go too long, but you can see if we do that, it sent me to some random coordinates. Negative 524, 721. So let's just do that, and we'll respawn back in our lava. That'd be a good prank too, just to put some spawn point right above lava. Let's see. So we did spread players. The summon command is basically what it sounds like. So let's go ahead and help summon. And basically what you're doing is you're summoning an entity. Where do you want to summon it? And what data tags do you want to use? So like I said, we'll not get into the data tags today. But if you look at it, you can do \summon. And if you hit tab on the next one, it basically shows you all the different things you can summon. Mushroom cows, chickens, giants, sheep, minecart hoppers. All of those are different things you can summon. And then you see I have it set up where it's going to summon it one spot above the command block. And like I said, we'll get it more into data tags in a later episode. But you can see spawn a sheep one block above the command block. So there's that. The tail command basically enables you to whisper to another player without everybody seeing it in chat. So if Trickman02 was here, which doesn't exist by the way, but if that person was here and I used \tell, you know, me, you're cool. You can't send private messages to yourself, but basically what it would do is, like this command block has set up, I would be the only one able to see that. The time command basically lets you set the time, which I have my my time right now set on not doing the daylight cycle with the game rules that we talked about earlier. But it allows you to set the time to whatever you choose. And then you can, the way you use that is you can do time set, and then you can choose your time, or you can do time set, day, night, or you can do time add, and then you can add however much time you want. So that's how that one works. Toggle downfall I won't really be able to show you in this map because we're in a desert thing. But basically, if it's raining or snowing, it turns it into the opposite. So if it's not raining, it'll start raining. If it is raining, it'll stop raining. The TP command basically teleports a player. So the way you can use it is you can teleport a target player to a destination player, or you can teleport a target player to coordinates. So basically, if there was another player, I would type in his name and then my name, and I could teleport them to me. Or you can teleport to coordinates. So I'm going to teleport myself to 0, 0, fall into lava. Or you can actually use relative coordinates. So for example, I could do TP, the closest player. Could have it teleport me 100 blocks up, like that. Blink. The weather command, basically it allows you to change the weather and how long you want the weather to last. So if you do weather clear, it'll do clear weather like we have right now. And then you can do the duration in seconds. So for example, if you were in a creative world and you never wanted it to rain, you could do like weather clear 3 million, and it might rain again, but you'd have to spend a lot of time in your world before that ever started. Weather rain, it would start raining, and then weather thunder, it would start thundering. And then let's see, the XP command basically gives or takes experience away from you. So the way that works is you do XP, let's say 500, closest player. You can see that gave me 23 levels. Even though I typed in 500, it gave me 500 experience points, which goes to 23 levels. But you can also take it away. So if you were to do, okay, you cannot give negative experience points, but you can take away levels and actually give levels. So if you were to change this to 500 with a capital L, it actually gave me 500 levels. And you can actually take away levels the same way with a capital L. So basically the way I have that set up is on this command block I have it set up to take 5 levels away from the closest player. So you can see it's 18, next one will be 13, then 8, 3, and then 0. Alright, so that is basically command blocks in a nutshell. I hope it was pretty easy to understand. In the next video I think we're going to get more into the scoreboard side of it. And then possibly after that we'll look at using data tags. And data tags are really cool because it allows you to do things like summon the Jack lantern. Oops, forgot I was in survival. Let's go ahead and switch to creative. So let's switch to creative. So we've got the Jack lantern. Let's go ahead and enchant this sword. This is created using data tags. We've got this little test guy right here. Oops. You may or may not recognize him. Created using data tags. And then you have this invincible guy right here. Scares, very, very scary, and he's invulnerable actually using data tags. The only way to get rid of him is actually to change the game to peaceful mode. Let's see if we can't push him in the lava. Oh, that does look scary. Alright, so that's basically it. I hope you guys have a better understanding of the basic commands. Like I said, next episode we'll get into the scoreboard system. And then after that we'll start looking at data tags. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope we'll see you in the next episode. Alright, bye-bye now.